Time to tip off some Wednesday night SEC basketball. We come your way from Knoxville, Tennessee, where the 4th-ranked Volunteers look to stretch out their 2-game winning streak against the Georgia Bulldogs, a club that's lost 2 in a row after a great start in conference play, but 3-3 overall. One of the reasons Georgia has turned things around this year is because of this guy, Terry Roberts.
Yeah, Terry Roberts, Dave, has become the leader, the transfer from Bradley of this squad. Surprisingly, maybe not. He averages nearly 20 points a game in SEC play. He's tough, he's physical with the basketball, and will have to be tonight. And if we think about Tennessee, Zakai Zeigler has been fantastic in the last 2 ball games. In the starting position, nearly 18 points, 7 assists, 2.5 steals in the game, and nearly 39 minutes per game. Rick Barnes has given him the leadership out front. He's done it offensively, and we know what he does on the defensive end.
And with some illness surrounding this Tennessee team the last week or so, the guy has stepped up big time for this club. You see what Roberts has done on the year, averaging 15.9 points a game, but that gets up over 19 in conference games. Should be a dynamic matchup to watch in the backcourt today. This Tennessee club, as we mentioned, has been fighting kind of the bug that's been going around. And one of those guys that was hit with it pretty bad was their all-world guard, Santiago Vescovi, who was back at shoot-around today. And Coach Barnes telling us he looked good enough to play. And, well, he's good enough to start tonight as he gets the call.
We watched him at shoot-around, and he had a little pep in his step. I mean, he looked good. And so he must feel better. This is an elite Tennessee team. Top 5 in the country. #1 seed in Lenardi's world. And you think about elite on defense, elite in the backcourt.
And we are underway, and that will belong to Tennessee. The Volunteers averaging on the year 74 points a game. That's 6th in the conference. Georgia averaging 71, 10th in the league. And Zeigler will start things off.
Good matchup. Justin Hill will start on Zeigler out front.
Georgia also making a change with their starting lineup tonight. They get Anselm on the floor and Justin Hill, both those guys making their first starts in conference play. Here's Zeigler, though, wide open 3. That's off the back of the iron. Rebound to Roberts.
Georgia will try to run. If they can get an early look, they'll take it. Nice pass.
How easy is that?
Well, that's what they'd like to do all night long.
Yeah, I doubt that'll happen. That may be the easiest bucket they get all night, but it was a good start for Georgia.
Defensively against Georgia, you've got to keep your hands up because they'll pick you apart the way they cut, the way they set screens, the way they share the basketball.
Here's Hill.
What a start for Hill in his first start in SEC play.
Hill getting the nod at the point. Transfer out of Longwood. Played in the NCAA tournament last year.
Played against his Tennessee team.
Vescovi in the corner. That 3 is in and out. So Tennessee's first 3 shots are from behind the arc. First foul goes against the Volunteers.
0 offensive pressure into the paint area for Tennessee. They've settled on 3 jump shots. What's the formula for beating Tennessee? Well, if they shoot too many jump shots, and at times they can go ice cold and not shoot it that well. Hill is a physical guard. Good matchup with Zeigler.
Moncrief is there. James blocks it. Little tie up. Battle underneath. And a foul against Tennessee. That's going to go against Vescovi. And that'll be his first. There's Mike White, his first year as a Georgia head coach. Boy, has he changed things around in Athens in terms of this basketball program. Already doubled up their league wins, doubled up their overall wins from last season. And it's a much different basketball team. They were not very good on defense. Matter of fact, one of the worst in the country defensively last year, and he has got them buying into his program.
Yeah, not happy with the last 2 ball games. The second half, or game and a half. Second half against Kentucky, and then we had him Saturday against Vanderbilt. He wasn't happy with their defensive effort, and Vanderbilt carved them up.
Yeah, 85 points for the Commodores. Georgia lost that one 85-82. Phillips gets it inside. Olivier Campbell underneath.
strong, physical. Back to the basket, no early double team. Moncrief's a very aggressive player. Likes to get back to that right hand, turn back to that left shoulder if he can get going right. I think he brings, probably of all the Georgia players, the physicality to this team. Roberts out front as a guard does that also, but not inside.
Shot clock down to 5. Hill gets a screen and it's stripped out of his hands by Ziegler. And a foul against the Dogs. No easy baskets as Phillips is fouled on the way up. Ziegler starts things off with the steal. He's third in the conference, averaging 2.2 per game.
Yeah, Tennessee basketball, the guards can eat you alive out front if you allow them to. Ziegler, the quick hands, and here's the best part. Hits it ahead, doesn't have to worry about bringing it up himself. This Tennessee team can run, they're explosive, and if you get Phillips out front, he can finish.
Phillips at the free throw line, 82% this year. He's been there 85 times now. The freshman, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week.
Last 2 ball games, a little bit of emergence has happened on the offensive end. 28 points, 15 rebounds total in those 2 ball games. Starting to shoot the ball a little more comfortably outside.
Hill back to Oquendo.
Can't let him go to the right hand. He is a straight downhill, powerful driver with the right.
Ziegler kicks it back out.
Ball is moving again, still hasn't gotten inside into the interior. You're going to settle for jump shots.
Offensive rebound by Cabo. Tennessee cold from the floor to start this one.
Impressed so far, this Bulldog team. This is where they're better than they were a year ago. They rebound the basketball. They've got 8 guys that average over 3 rebounds a ball game, so their guards get back and rebound. They don't allow many second shots.
Rick Barnes now in his 8th year at Tennessee. Some say this might be his best team he's had since he's been here. Talking to him today, he really likes the way his team has grasped the defensive concept. Says they got to play better on the screen game defensively, though.
You know, it's interesting, Dave, when you talk to a guy like Rick Barnes, and we've both known him forever. Every player you talk about, he says, yeah, he's got to get more consistent. We got to get more consistent. And then, you know, the next player. And the reason he's one of the great coaches, and he continues to think guys can get better. And this time of the year, late January, starts rolling around. It's kind of the dog days of the season. It's tough on athletes, tough on players, tough on coaches. He told us straightforward, he said, we've got to get better every day.
I think he senses the potential of this group.
I think so. When you can guard like they guard, you've got a chance night in, night out with any team in the country.
Vescovy.
Nice. Good hands by Robert. Roberts will fight you. Tough, competitive.
Top 10 in the conference in 6 different categories. Oh, that's a tough shot by Moncrief. Ansom's follow won't go. Rebound Vescovy. And he's pushed by Moncrief.
Exactly what Mike White's looking for, though. Aggressiveness by this Georgia team.
All right, so timeout on the floor. 15:45 to go. Opening half, Georgia by 2. Georgia leading it by 2 early here in Knoxville. 6-4 our score. Dave Neal alongside my buddy and my partner, John Sunvolt. Glad you could join us tonight. And obviously, this is a big night. Seems like we're on this, like, I don't know what you'd call the tour we are with Mike White. We saw him when he goes back to Florida, where he coached last year. Saw him at Ole Miss, where he played. Now we're here in Knoxville, where his brother happens to be the athletic director. And, you know, it's got to be kind of a unique experience to face off where your brother is the AD. But this family, man, they are littered with folks in the sports world.
They can talk sports, right?
Yes.
Because of their dad and their brothers and sisters. I mean, it's amazing what this family does. You take a look through all in the family. Obviously, their father, Kevin, one of the great ADs, recently retired. Mike's a coach. Brother Danny here at Tennessee. Brother Brian at Florida Atlantic, athletic director. And then Mariah, who just retired as SMU assistant AD. You know, his brother Brian, who's at Florida Atlantic, they've got a terrific ball club basketball team. He hired Mike White's former assistant from Georgia, Dusty May. They got a terrific team.
And of course, Mariah's sister at SMU, and another sister that is a teacher, and there is Danny White right there. He should be smiling. He just got a nice little extension.
I saw that. Pretty good.
Let's just say they're paying him well.
He's done well here at Tennessee.
Oh my goodness, think about what he's done in the 2 years he's been here. It's almost been 2 years to the day as Ziegler knocks home that three. You think about where the football team is, the basketball team, the Lady Vols, certainly like they've turned the corner. They get UConn in here tomorrow night. The baseball team, of course, just polarized the college baseball world last year. There's another takeaway by this defense. Vescovi leading the charge now to Ziegler.
Ziegler hit the last three when the ball went inside, then outside. Powerful, strong.
There's a foul. Bridges checks in and immediately picks up the foul. That's a tough matchup.
If they play inside out, you're going to get better looks. Once they went inside, all of a sudden you've got cutters, you've got defenders trying to help recover. You spot up. Next time down, Plavsic just actually went to work, and Bridges has to hold his own. He's got to be more physical, not allow the big man to catch it so close to the basket.
Plavsic is 47% at the line. Misses the first one. He's been sick, didn't play against LSU. Averaging 6 points, a little over 4 rebounds a game. And hey, look, his free throw percentage will go up, knocking home 1 out of 2. That's not where you want to live, but it will go up.
Ziegler keeping the ball away from Roberts. Everything runs on the Georgia offensive end through Roberts.
Five turnovers for Georgia in their last 7 possessions. Ziegler.
Think about Ziegler. He's more of a face-up, set type shooter. What I mean by that, he does not come flying off screens and jumps up and shoot it. So if you allow him to get his feet set, get square to the basket, he's going to knock him in.
A couple of threes for Ziegler. Offensive foul. 7-0 run by Tennessee right now.
Well, Tennessee doing what Tennessee we've seen them do all season long. Solid on the defensive end. Holt with his second turnover early as he's just gotten in, and then Ziegler again. You get to let him set, let him survey it a little bit. He's going to knock it in. And then defensively, Tyreke Key just took that charge. Another outstanding guard. This is the elite guard play. When you got these 3 guys in at the same time, they can all score it and they can all defend.
Plavsic off the window.
That's just powerful. Just a big body. 7'1", 265.
Hill. Moncrief spins in traffic, back to Hill. Catch, fires. Got him.
Good shot, good play by Moncrief. I thought Moncrief a little bit out of control. Dave, keep an eye on the movement again with these 3 guards in, because they all shoot it well and all handle it well.
When you take that kind of shot, you know you're kind of feeling it. Averaging just shy of 10 points a game, a couple of rebounds.
Now coming off the bench after he was sick one ball game.
Boy, Moncrief with a strong take on Adu. Back and forth we go. Ziegler.
Well, it's the quickness of Ziegler. So you've got to pick your poison. Hill's got to stay in front of him, or it's going to be a long night.
That's a tough shot off the back of the rim, and a rebound to Adu.
Ooh, I thought he had it. Thought he had the bounce pass.
Tennessee scored 13 points in the last 3 minutes.
Oh, tough shot. Some would say that's a heat check, but I think it's a bad shot.
Well, I mean, you could be both. Couldn't it be both?
Here's the thing.
It could be both.
Offense is running, right? It's moving. Keep it moving. Don't get stagnant.
Jackson Eder checking into the game. He has not played in a while for Georgia. And getting an early run here in the first half as Mike White trying to find a combination here that will hold on to the basketball.
Eder, tough kid, hasn't played in the last 7. Played a lot of games last season. Outside shooter, face-up shooter, good defender. Shooter.
Oh, Abdul Rahim was feeling it on Saturday in Athens when he hit a career-high 5 threes and led Georgia with 21, and he stays hot. Hits his first 3 tonight. Tennessee will turn it over back to the Dogs in a 3-point game.
Abdul Rahim, again, you said it, against Vandy, absolutely stroked it from outside, 5 threes. He gets a start like that tonight with shooting it. They need to find him early.
Georgia hanging around, down 3. Timeout on the floor, back after this. Tennessee leading Georgia 17-14 as we take a look at Embrace. The If brought to you by Regions. And if Georgia's going to win this one, what do they have to do well tonight?
Well, the most difficult thing is to have a good shooting night against a great defensive team. But you can do it if you move the basketball, especially early. If you get early looks, don't pass them up. And then again, they have to match the physicality of this Tennessee team. When you think physicality, you always think of the bigs. At Tennessee, you think of their guards out front. They just absolutely get into ball handlers, and they blow up screens, and they make it difficult to run offensive sets.
So an even 12 minutes to go here in the first half. Georgia shooting 55%, 6 out of 11. Tennessee has raised their percentage to 50%. They started 1 for 6. They are now 6 out of 12. Tennessee ranked 4th in the country, the number 2 net ranking in the country.
Good matchup now, key defensively on Roberts.
Here's Roberts, kicks it back out. Abdul Rahim will get it back to Roberts. Shot clock at 8. Roberts trying to create up over James. No good. And a push against Georgia, and that's going to go against Juice Holtz.
I think what Tennessee does so well, Roberts turn the corner, they help and they recover. So if your pass is a little bit off, they've got time to get there. You've got to be more efficient. You've got to be right on key every time you make a pass. So matchup zone now by this Bulldog team. Wow, handled easily.
And a whistle at Adams. We'll get the foul against the Dogs, and that's going to go against Anselem.
How quickly that ball got in the middle of that 2-3 zone to Adu, and Adu, the big center, 6'11". Quick pass.
Tobe Awaka had a season best 9 versus Mississippi State, averaging a little over 3 points a game. But boy, Coach Barnes was talking to us today about the young man who says he's going to be all SEC player before it's over.
He's high on this kid, only 17 years old. And what else did he mention? It's got to be more consistent. Every guy.
He even told us we need to be more consistent.
That's exactly right.
Here's Roberts. Nice pass. Eder, corner 3. Won't go. Roberts, another rebound.
Boy, catch and release. Oh. Man, I tell you what, he is on fire.
Abdul Rahim with a second 3. Makes it a 2-point game.
Can't have your hands down. If you're in the zone defense and your hands are down, you absolutely get picked apart.
Boy, Eder had no chance to get that rebound. Roberts in there battling. Well, you can see why Roberts is such a dynamic player. He seems to be everywhere the ball is.
Well, you love what Mike White says about him. He just says, man, he's tough. Doesn't like losing 2-on-2, 3-on-3 games. Will not physically fight teammates, but fights teammates about winning games.
Shot clock at 6. Roberts, I don't know if he recognizes it. Oh, wow. Almost got it to go down.
Double Euro step. After the miss, back to the man.
Phillips. Batted around. Anselm in there. The transfer from Syracuse gets the start tonight. Has had an impact. Boy, you better not be lazy with the pass tonight if you're Georgia.
No, or going to the basket. They're capable of knocking these in.
Well, he must have taken 153s in warm-ups tonight. He's the first one out every game.
Every game we do, Georgia, first one out, shoots. It's a lot of shots in. This guy can shoot it.
Buries it. Tyreke Key.
Sat out last year at Indiana State, had a fabulous career there, was sought out by many, many schools in the transfer portal. Ended up coming to Tennessee from Salina, Tennessee, population of about 1,500 people.
Rolling to Salina, you see a big old billboard right there. Home of Tyreke Key. Charge taken. Josiah Jordan-James.
Well, Tyreke Key has become very valuable for this Tennessee squad. He can shoot it, he can defend, he can run the offense. That's not a natural position for him to be the point guard. But again, when you get the three guys on the floor at the same time, the elite level of guard play, you can mix and match and pick your poison of as a defensive team, which one you're going to give up a shot.
17 fouls now against Georgia, just 2 team fouls against Tennessee. Georgia with 7 turnovers. Georgia's had a bit of a problem holding on to the basketball this year. They average almost 14 turnovers a game. That is 13th in the conference. Vescovi trying to hit Plavsic.
And Georgia doing a good job switching now. Small guys have to stay on the bigs underneath.
An offensive foul and Plavsic underneath. Pat Adams keeping an eye on those two. He and Bridges were just banging against each other.
Physical down low.
And it was right after the pass. And another foul against Urash. That'll be 2 quick ones on the big fella.
Yeah, Rick Barnes not happy about that when he coaches physical play, right? They don't allow cutters to just meander through the lane.
Here's Hill.
Hill's going to like this matchup if they can just back it up a little bit.
Hits it inside. Plavsic, nice defensive work by the 7-1 center. Here's James.
Nice. Euro set a solid screen. Clear path.
Loose ball.
No call. Thought it could have been a charge.
James.
Boy, the value of Josiah Jordan-James, who can handle the basketball, play a number of positions.
Creep back to Abdul-Rahim.
Catch and shoot. I think Mike White likes that shot because of how well he shoots it. That's his game.
Batted around. Bridges can't get it. Last touch by Bridges. And the fact that I don't think Phillips saw the ball helped Tennessee out. And they'll have possession when we come back. 7:04 to go, first half. Tennessee up 7.
Peter Burns with a studio update down in Gainesville, where South Carolina has won 3 straight games in Exactech Arena, but Kawasi Reeves off the bench wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. He's got 8 points. The lead is 6 for the Gators. Back to David Sutton.
Peter, good to hear your voice here. 24-17, Tennessee out front. And just moments ago, well, we had some electricity in the building because this young man made a layup, a free throw, a three-pointer, and then this happened. Boom! But you and I were sitting here going, what a great shot. The guy obviously could play ball. I mean, it didn't take him long. But he only got $600 for making the half-court shot. Come on, people.
I knew he was serious. The hat was on backwards. Shooters wear it backwards. If you wear it in the front, normally a good shooter, you hit your cap too much. So you turn it on backwards. Well, he was confident. Then he kind of waited till the clock ran down. Everybody's trying to make him hurry. He shook him off.
I think you brought up a good point. It wasn't really about the $600. I think he might have got a date.
Well, that's what he was working on after he got out.
I mean, he got the $600 and a date.
Just the scouting report I was doing, partner, was he was.
But good for him. Loftus. Georgia with a defensive stand.
Numbers.
Oquendo alley-oop to Anselm, left it short. Boy, Anselm was just off balance.
Well, and that's a tough one because he's a big trying to run, and then the pass has to be right on the money for your big guy to handle that. I thought Oquendo, because he's so good in the open floor, just gather yourself. He had Vescovi back to try to beat.
Roberts, another long rebound. Oquendo lines one up. No good. Good work there.
Pretty good pace, partner, in this game. Back and forth. Open shots. Everybody in conference play is so well scouted. If you're not a good shooter, you're going to have more open looks than you thought you should. But that is so big and physical. Tough to defend.
Georgia going to have to start hitting some shots. They've missed 6 in a row, make it 7 in a row, and it's 1 and done for the Dogs. Nice entry pass.
Yeah, that's, you know what?
They're just getting like to the rim. They're poking up at the rim.
Well, Hill was yelling for help because the bigs are just running the floor, and Georgia's bigs are not. So you've got Justin Hill back there trying to defend Conway inside. Not going to happen.
It's a 9-0 Tennessee run to open this up to an 11-point game. Timeout take, of course, always on the ESPN app. 17th ranked Georgia. Number 2 Gators get it started at 6 Eastern, and it's off to Lexington for 13th ranked Alabama, 10th ranked Kentucky. And we wrap up the night with number 8 LSU at the barn in Fayetteville to take on 23rd ranked Arkansas. A fantastic night of top 25 gymnastics. Here are the 4th ranked Tennessee Volunteers, leading it by 11. Ziegler leading the way with 8 points. Lodgich with 5. Georgia has gotten 6 from Abdul Rahim on a couple of threes. Oquendo.
Boy, here's a good matchup. Oquendo and Ziegler.
Ooh, wow. Como gets up, blocks it, starts the fast break. Ziegler inside. Kept alive for a moment. Here's Oquendo. Carrio inside. And a foul. Will stop play. Ziegler will pick up the personal.
Well, defensively, we know what Tennessee's all about. We know that they shut down people from a high percentage, but it's their bigs, it's a help, it's a recover. Kamar is just an athletic guy that can, really he's unlimited. Offensively, he's solid, can face up and shoot it, can post. Defensively, great help and recover guy, the mobility to block shots at the rim. So many pieces to Rick Barnes' team. That all 8, 9, 10 guys that come in, athletic, strong, fast, quick.
Georgia's first point, by the way, in the last 5.5 minutes. Ziegler.
Vescovi has been very quiet this first half.
Deep three with the shot clock down to 3. Bridges a rebound. Nice pass to Bridges, kicks it out to Oquendo. Hill, back to Roberts, fires on the way, and that one's no good. Big rebound there by the freshman Phillips.
Roberts now 0 of 4 from the field, averaging nearly 20 points in SEC play.
Vescovi, he heard you.
Yeah. Knows how to play, knows how to use screens, gets his body in the right spot. And when you move well without the ball, sometimes the shot's the easy part because he's already open.
Ingram, that one blocked right back to him.
Everybody stopped, looked at the official. Don Daly said, clean block, play on.
Roberts working on Ziegler. Boy, had it poked out of there by Phillips, man. It's almost like there's 6 white jerseys playing. Vescovi right past Ingram.
Nice. Mismatch because Ingram's not going to want to play outside that deep against Vescovi, and he just simply took him off the dribble.
Here's Hill. Ingram will line up a 3, and that one is off the mark and short. A 14-1 run by Tennessee.
Vescovi, we wondered when he would make his appearance. He's on the scoreboard. 3 and an easy layup. Who are the road? Which are the toughest places? So Auburn's got to go to West Virginia. You got a chance. Huggy Bear's tough. Alabama, Oklahoma. I like Alabama winning the road game. Tech at LSU. That's a dog fight. That's a rock fight. Iowa State at Missouri. Like the Tigers. TCU is one of the better teams in the country. They're going to go to Mississippi State. Texas here at Tennessee. What a matchup in that game because Texas is awfully good. And then obviously the Blue Bloods, Kansas, Kentucky. Kansas has lost 3 games in a row, and that's unheard of in the Bill Self world. And we know Kentucky's playing better. So let's go SEC to win this.
Pat Adams, Don Daly, Newcastle, our officials trying to sort things out. We had a camera down there on the baseline that was getting in the way. We got that cleared up. Hopefully it wasn't one of our cameras. If it was, our apologies.
How patient, key, good solid defense.
Good defensive stand and a little run out. 2-on-1. Oh, no! Moncrief.
Here's what I'm going to say. Zakai Ziegler is a smart basketball player. He got out of the way. He was going to take charge. He got out of the way.
That was Georgia's first field goal since the 10:50 mark.
My goodness, live to play another play. We're top of the way.
Shot clock down to single digits. Here's Key. James, open 3. Rolled around and out. Rebounded Moncrief. And they took one across the chops in the process. Well, that was some kind of effort there by Moncrief.
Well, he took it all the way to him. And then didn't look like a high comfort level handling the basketball full court.
The dunk definitely looked comfort level.
How aggressive.
Another tough shot won't go. No whistle. And Ziegler back the other way. Georgia shooting just 30%. Tennessee number 1 in the country in opponents' field goal percentage. They allow opponents to make shots just 34% of the time.
Staggering numbers.
Tom Watt, nice touch up in front of the iron.
You said it, Dave. He's got such a nice touch. He's got a good feel, soft touch. And that's why he can post. He can play the mid-range game, and then he pops out, faces up. Very comfortable making three-point shots at 38%.
Now on Ziegler with 1:34 to go before halftime. But Roberts has had a rough go up. He is posting a But then they slide Tyreek Key over.
Yeah. Another physical player. When we've seen Roberts, what he does best is to stop and go, controlling the defense. But he, because of his numbers and because how well he's played, he now is drawing a lot of attention in the SEC.
Another turnover by Georgia. Pride leads the charge. Now Roberts has the header. Back to Roberts.
Aiden, 6'11", long reach, trying to give Roberts some space.
Georgia has turned it over 10 times here in the first half. Almost had 11 there as Phillips knocks it out of bounds. High arches, step back.
Tough shot, good defense.
That's good with the rebound. His third. Blocked by Eder.
Couldn't tell Beston wanted a call. Good hustle by Eder. Beston came off the top of the screen.
Georgia will get one final crack at it here. Tennessee by 15 right now.
Remember Roberts with the basketball. He really punished scoreless in the first half.
Roberts finally on the board. It took 20 minutes for him to get in the scorebook, but he does so with that basket. Falls in the half on an 18-8 run. They hold Georgia to 22 points. Kind of par for the course for the Vols. 35-22. Let's get you in the studio.
Thank you, boys. Welcome to the SEC Halftime Report with all rolling. Damian Fishback, Patrick Young, Peter Burns. We got games going on right here, right now. South Carolina won their last 3 games on the road. In your former neck of the woods, Patrick Young, that's trying to change earlier. I don't think I ever lost South Carolina, so I can't relate. Okay. Back in the day. Jeez. All right. How about a little defense into offense, a little swing pass? Quasi Reeves.
Love the way the sport is getting out in transition, Bird. They're playing much faster on the side goal.
Gamecocks not going away. Michi Johnson gets it. Gamecocks trail by just 6, but Gators would have a chance to answer. Fish. Colin Castleton gets it. Outside the paint, goes to work, fights his way inside. Gators roll.
He's man on the team. He's going to have to be the man against Kansas State this weekend as well. Only chance they have to knock off Kansas State.
Of course, that is the SEC Big 12 Challenge. We'll talk about that coming up over the next couple of days. 34-26 Gators roll in there in Gainesville. Let's talk about this game, right? It feels like Tennessee is finally healthy and wash, rinse, repeat for Rick Barnes' squad.
Yeah, it looks like they're finally healthy, and as we've spoken many a times, offensively sometimes there's just parts of the flow that just isn't there, but defensively it's right there. They're stifling Georgia. They're turning them over. They're turning turnovers into points off of turnovers, making those easy baskets. So this is that marquee picture. Look, Terry Roberts just scored his first 2 points in the game. He's been second in the SEC these last few weeks in scoring behind Brandon Miller. So Tennessee is looking at pristine at this level right now.
Yeah, the Volunteers always read you your rights and give you the right to remain silent. I mean, the way they defend the crowd tonight, you know, but the fact of the matter is I think Georgia's playing into their hands. They've got to get out in front of that defense and score before they set up. The better the defense, the faster you have to play. And then you combine that with the turnovers. I think they got 13, 14 points off the turnovers. You don't give your chance against the Volunteers.
Yeah, 12 points over those turnovers, like you said. It's been happening. The Vols, again, so disciplined with the ball, only 5 turnovers in that first half. Zakai Ziegler has just turned it on this year. What is it about him in this first half that's really kind of set the pace?
But I really love his game. And to be honest, I went there before the season started, and I thought Zakai Ziegler was feeling himself a little bit. I thought that he had heard how good he was, maybe got a little bit of NIL, and Rick Barnes did a nice job of Getting by taught me that. Getting by the defenders, creating for himself and others, he is the key to this basketball team, Patrick.
Well, I really think as well, looking back at the Kentucky game that they lost at home, the guy, he put a lot of that weight on his shoulders because there were so many baskets around the rim that he just missed.
Yeah.
And he's a very capable point guard. He showed that as a freshman last year. At moments of the season, I said, that's the best player on the court. The smallest guy with the biggest heart from New York. You know, he's got that toughness within him. But he is in a perfect system for him. It doesn't matter. He just wants to win. Take me off the bench. Let me start. It doesn't matter.
It's funny because when you talk about who's the best player for the Vols, you can name 4 or 5 different players on any given night. That's one of the reasons why they're one of the top teams in the country. Georgia looking to keep it close. Need more of this.
Out of the way.
and the SEC going at it. And Texas and Tennessee will square off right here on this very floor on Saturday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, going inside the numbers. 10th ranked Texas, 48% shooting. We'll see how that holds up against this defense.
Well, it's a team that's got a couple of great guards, Marcus Carr, Tyrese Hunter, two guys that can shoot it from deep. They go off the bounce. That is a talented Texas squad. And Rick Barnes knows all well, although he stayed away from talking at all about Texas because they had this ball game. Saw his press conference yesterday, and he didn't, he knew there was a game this weekend and everything going on, but handle this one first. But that Texas team is exceptionally talented. They're big, they're fast, they're strong enough. And obviously the Big 12 is a solid league that's going to have, out of their 10 teams, I think they'll get 9 of the 10 in. Texas Tech will be the one that probably won't make it.
So Oquendo at the line makes it 64-37 tally. 3:53 and counting. Here's Key. He'll bring it up. Let him run a little point. Mashack jumps it inside. Tomlin.
Nice cut.
Cutting Phillips, and a foul on Moncrief. Well, actually, they're going to call that on Holt. A little push in the hip on the way in.
Well, nice cut through the zone. And like any young player, wanted to stop and tomahawk it and punch it through.
That's
had maybe had one little step and just laid in on the other side.
But that was kind of your game back in the day, right? The old tomahawk dunk.
Gather myself. I'd have sidestepped and the spinner off the glass. Go from some style points.
Moncrief has one thunderous dunk tonight back in the first half. This Georgia team is going to give up some points to this Tennessee team, but Georgia's defense is certainly, we're talking a lot about this Tennessee club, but Georgia's dramatically changed from where they were a year ago. They were 338 last year in scoring defense. They're 83rd now. There's Roberts.
Tough shot, individual move.
It's a frustrating night for Mike White. It's hard to have answers against Tennessee.
Well, the answers have to be guys got to make shots. They made their first couple early, remember, to start the game. They're up 6-2. And if you don't make shots, you're going to get some open looks against Tennessee. They don't stop everything, but they challenge so many. You've got to have guys respond to make shots, jump up. If there's opportunities for open ones, can't miss them.
Awaka with 8 points and a rebound. Starting to see a little bit of why Coach Barnes is really high on this young man, Tobe Awaka. And just trying to get some substitutions in. Rick Barnes will use a timeout, but says to our officials, let's keep this thing moving. 2:13 to go. So Georgia will leave here, head home. They will host South Carolina, that was getting thumped pretty good tonight by Florida. And of course, we've talked about Texas coming to town. And I hate to look too far in advance, but I can tell you this, my eyes will be paying close attention to late February, mid-February, February 15th to be exact, when Alabama comes to town.
Undoubtedly, arguably the two best teams in our league, right? Alabama and Tennessee, and they both sit on the one line, even though it's January. But that's what we're talking about.
How about the stretch coming up, though? We talked about mid-February. February 11th, Missouri's here. February 15th, Alabama's here. And then Tennessee's got to go on the road at Kentucky, at Texas A&M. How about that 4-game, 2-week swing, huh?
Well, you think about it again. Let's talk about styles of play. They've played some teams that don't produce a lot of points in this league. You just mentioned Missouri. Alabama will come in back-to-back. Two totally different teams. They'll put up bunches of points. And we know what Buzz Williams' team has done and been able to do. Hey, it's a gauntlet in SEC play. No easy nights.
Now Abdur-Rahim will head to the free throw line. Now Georgia kind of shocked the SEC world. Opening game of the league. They go knock off Auburn.
Yeah. That was a good home win.
Blocked by Abdur-Rahim. Meshack, strong move. That one goes through the cylinders. You get bodies flying all over the place. Georgia's shooting 28%. They are 6 for 25 in the second half. That's 24%.
You know, Dave, you mentioned, so Georgia has South Carolina at home on Saturday. Get back on track. Georgia started solidly in this league. This is probably the worst game they've played by far.
First layup won't go, and a push against Plavsic. With Georgia back the other way. But, you know, I think it's the combination of the way you lose to Vanderbilt last Saturday for Mike White, right? Yeah. That's a game that you just didn't come out in the first half ready to go, and it cost you a game. You might be able to live with this a little bit easier had it not gone that way last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a challenge in conference play. Like, everything is magnified possession to possession, right? So Georgia comes in here. This is one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country.
Right. Team that could win it all.
Yeah, and you have to be perfect. Not perfect, but pretty close with what you have. And again, that Vandy loss at home. Hey, Vandy's going to do that to some teams. They score, they shoot it, they move it. Mike White just wasn't happy by the defensive effort from really the opening tip. But again, it's a long season. 6 weeks of basketball. The left.
Abdur-Rahim with that rebound, and we are down to the final few seconds. Moncrief will get that one to go, and Georgia will put up 41 points. They end up shooting 29%. 29%. Tennessee 42%. And they'll get Ziegler leads the way with 11. Awaka with 10 for Georgia. Roberts the only player in double figures with 11. Georgia goes to 13-7, 3-4 in the league. Tennessee wins for the 3rd straight time. They're now 17-3 and 7-1 in the conference. So for John Sunvol, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Knoxville. Let's get you back to the studio.
Thank you, boys. That was a dominating victory for the Vols. Shaquille Moore looking to get exact a little revenge in T-Town, guys, as we saw Mississippi State fall to Alabama earlier this year out in the hump.
Yeah, early on, Shaquille Moore had some struggles finding his role with this team, and now he's fine and found a rhythm, and watch out. He's ready to go. Another
solid freshman, Noah Clowney. Last time we saw these two teams tussle, he had a dozen points. Damian Fishback, another talented young man on Nate Oates' squad.
Yeah, he's the silent assassin on this basketball team. So much credit goes to Brandon Miller, as it should. But Noah Clowney gives them rim protection. He gives them offensive rebounding. He can guard 1 through 5. Probably just an elite athlete as well.
This man is an elite athlete, and you know, Patrick, you were talking about him. Just to get him in this lineup, Bruce Pearl trying to find a way for him to mesh, and he's been doing it extremely well.
Yeah, it was very, very easy for him to fall into this Bruce Pearl system where a player is asked just to do what you do best, and that is protect the rim, score at a high level, and knock down shots. So Janai Broome has been doing that.
You know, I'm curious if Tyrese Boots Radford is going to replace what Q Jackson did last year. I like the way that Texas A&M's playing well together, but they knew who the guy was when they needed points. I saw at the end of the game, their previous game, where Jimmy Dykes was talking about he thought Tyrese Radford was going to take the shot. Wade Taylor took it. I think they have to figure that out in order to kind of take that next level? Who is the guy on this team?
I feel you, but hey, Q Jackson had a 45-inch vertical, so I don't know if I love Boots, but I don't know if he can fill in for the human highlight reel. Let's be clear there.
It's interesting as you talk about that, Damian Fishback, Patrick Young. I'm Peter Burns. Hi, hello. What's interesting about that is for A&M, you feel like, hey, there needs to be kind of that alpha dog mentality. We didn't really see that out of Tennessee. It was just complete and utter domination from the entire team. Zakai Ziegler with 11 points. Do they need that alpha? Do they need this guy that says, hey, you know what, I got you for 30, like Admiral Schofield and like Grant Williams were on those teams that tried to make it pretty far?
They need that to win it all. They can get to, the second weekend playing the way they're playing now, but there's going to come a point to where execution alone may just not be good enough. Whether it's Olivier Conway, whether it's Phillips who struggled tonight, whether it's Zakai Ziegler or Vescovy, one of those guys is going to have to elevate their game to where they can create a shot for themselves or someone else to take them to that next level. Every team that gets to Houston will have a guy somewhat like that. Tennessee is so good already, but once they figure that out, they may be unstoppable.
Maybe one of the guys to do it is a guy that's joining us right now. He ended up having 11 points and gets an opportunity to hang tight with us. Zakai Ziegler, we're going to get that television screen or camera on you in just a moment, man. Hey, walk me through this. One of the complete, utter team wins that we've seen from this Vol squad. What was clicking for you guys tonight?
Well, we coming into the game, we knew exactly what we had to do. We know what we had to do defensively, and I felt like us doing our part on defense, it just turned into great offense.
Zakai, I'm curious your take on this. What is one word you would use to describe the makeup of your team?
Toughness. I will always say toughness because no matter what, if we miss a bunch of shots, if we're open, we're going to take the next one. We always step up to the challenge, so I would just mainly say it's toughness.
You know, Zakai, I came there for practice before the season, and Rick Barnes seemed to be smiling when he asked me, what did I think about his team? What do you think about your team, where they are right now? What do you all need to do to improve, and what do you like about your team?
I feel like we're a really good team, but like everybody else, we have much more to improve on. We know we can get better defensively, just like offensively, we can get better too. But I really love just the camaraderie of this team. We all love each other, and it's no type of hatred, no matter what the situation is, and we always have each other's back. But I would say we can get better in many different ways, offensively and defensively.
Zakai, when I look at your team now, it reminds me so much of the team I played for my senior year where everyone just loved up on each other and played unselfish basketball. What do you attest to creating that culture? Because honestly, any one of you guys could go off for 20, 25 plus points tonight, but winning just seems to be the key motivating factor for all of you.
Yeah, well, I would honestly say that starts in the locker room because at the end of the day, we know we got each other's back out there on that court, and that's where it all starts in the locker room, us bonding off the court. Well, and that's what I would just say. It starts from the locker room.
Hey, Zakai, last question, man. You kind of like Rick Barnes a little bit. If you've had a tough day at the office, what does it take to make you or Rick Barnes just smile for the day?
Well, I would honestly say winning. Honestly, it's no better feeling than winning. Whether it's an ugly win or a pretty win, at the end of the day, you want to have one more point than the opposite team at the end of the game on that scoreboard.
Like that.
Y'all had a bunch more points tonight, man. Go celebrate with your boys, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate
Zakai Ziegler. They're fun to watch, man.
All business, man.
They are all business. Another team that was trying to be all business was Colin Castleton. How tall is he?
I don't know, but he broke my record in blocks, so I don't like him anymore.
Stop being bitter.
I'm bitter.
Get over it, okay? You see that. He was trying to continue his domination. I only asked because he adds like another 4 inches with a hair gel when he's had that thing spiked up.
You're right. I think he's true 6'11".
Woo! Ups right there. Riley Kugel, a little alley-oop jam. Gators up 46-30, and Florida not letting South Carolina hang around in this one. There's Colin Castleton, the man that you just absolutely despise, Patrick.
No, once he gets the ball down there, he has such great poise, hands, and just knows how to get to his spots, especially being 6'11" with a 7'5" wingspan. It's really difficult to guard someone of that magnitude.
79.
Could you have guarded him?
Please.
Yeah.
Please. 79-53.
That's what I was looking for, big fella.
Again, and that was like, and by the way, that's the most trash talk Patrick Young will ever have in his life.
I've been to four. I went to 4 straight NCAA tournaments.
Put some respect on his name.
Yeah.
Right now, I want to go back. We look at kind of tiers of teams right now. I feel like Alabama and Tennessee is in this tier. Where is Florida at in this conference right now? Or where can they be?
They can be in that top 5. It's very possible. I'm going to need to see another marquee win for them. There's the opportunities. I'm not sure if you're going to get any of those wins on the road. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but it's darn near impossible to win at Auburn. Winning at Alabama is going to be difficult. I'm sure Kentucky, maybe, but Kentucky has shifted gears and turned into a much better team. Florida right now has found their rotation and has an opportunity because they're right on that bubble point. Just have to finish the season out and can't have any bad losses.
Yeah, Joe Lunardi says they're under consideration, and he's right 99% of the time. I think we'll learn a lot more about this Gator team when they go on the road versus Kansas State. Coach Tang has done a fantastic job, off to one of the best starts in Big 12 history outside of Roy Williams and Frank Haith at 18-2. I think he won a couple of those when he's interim head coach at Baylor. I think Florida right now, they know what they have in Colin Castleton. Patrick, you and I talked about it. Who is the other guy that's going to manufacture those points for him? That's the question we have.
You don't have to manufacture any in the excitement in Tuscaloosa right now. They're going crazy.